We're not living in the most terrific of times, that is for sure. Businesses are closed. We're living in a time right now where someone can burn down your business and not get in trouble, but someone can open their business to feed their family and actually get arrested. So we're in a literal Jerry Seinfeld bizarro world right now. And now kids who are the least vulnerable to the coronavirus, but the most vulnerable to distractions from their routine, going to school, socioeconomic development, hanging out with other kids, playing extracurricular activities. This is the formational and developmental years of a kid's life, and school teaches them discipline, regularity, socioeconomic. It's all being destroyed right now by government overreach, in my view. Okay, right down to right here in my area, where my son's only going into school 2 days a week and 3 days remote, and he told me, Dad, I'm getting dumber. He told me that, my own son. He said, Dad, I'm getting dumber, okay? Now it's getting to a crazy place. And to bring us, you know, a postcard from the edge of educational insanity, Jeffrey Emmette joins us right now. He's a single father of 3. He's got 2 elementary-age students in the Auburn City School District. And from what I understand, Jeff, your boys were kicked out of school because they were doing their remote learning from a different state.
Correct. They haven't actually been kicked out yet. This week would have been their last week. Which the school's known where I was the entire time. I had sent an email to the superintendent at the beginning because we had to pick up materials saying, you know, we're down here, we'll return to Auburn when it's safe to do so. And it wasn't an issue. And then a principal got mad because a piece of mail got returned. They had put the wrong last name from when my kids, before they were adopted. You know, he was rude on the phone, I got rude back. And ever since then, it's turned into an issue.
So, all right, I'm going to try to break this down because we try to kind of get a sane message out there, and this is insane. Your kids are remote, right?
Yep. Full
and
time.
The school district is aware that you're remote from somewhere else, and then all of a sudden they get a piece of mail that gets returned that's forwarded from your address where you're currently residing through the pandemic, and they say, that's it, your kids can't remote from another state. So they can't go to school unless they're over the border in the state where their school is. Is that right?
Apparently. I mean, they didn't really have answers. Nobody seems to be talking to each other in the district or from the different schools. They separated my 2 kids before the pandemic. And this other principal, they'd moved my one son with an IEP over to a new building. And it was this principal, who I really hadn't ever spoken to before. The other school knew. They brought up my house being on Airbnb, which the house has been on Airbnb for the last couple of years. It's never been a problem. So it's like acting like all this information is new. The superintendent, assistant superintendent, said she tried to reach out to me twice, and I didn't respond. I called the superintendent's office to ask, you know, if he called, asked to have a return call, told him what happened with the principal. And, you know, she's acting like she couldn't reach me, but the teachers reached me just fine, and so does everybody else. So instead of sending an email asking what the situation was, it was like, your kids, you know, you're done next week because you've moved.
That's crazy. So your traditional house where you live, you're renting it out as an Airbnb and you're staying at someplace else?
Yeah, I'm staying with my aunt and uncle down in Missouri. We came at the end of summer. They brought up something about a wedding too, which the wedding was actually in New York. So I said, if we didn't make it back for the wedding, you know, we'd probably be back sometime in October.
It's crazy.
And nothing was an issue. Nothing was an issue. And, you know, the email she's sending has all this misinformation in it. I don't know what her deal is. And then I got another email last night at the end of the day that now they're going to review the case, and that if I didn't like the decision, I could appeal. Where when her and I were on the phone, I told her all this information. And the only reason why we were gone was because the kids were remote learning. Why do I need to be in my home for them to remote learn? Why does it matter? I didn't move. I'm on an extended vacation. I'm sorry that I have the luxury to do that.
Yeah, it's almost like punitive. Oh, no. You have more privilege than other people. You can't make your life as easy as it is. You can't go to your aunt's house and make extra money by renting out your house on Airbnb. It's almost like punitive, right?
Well, and I asked her on the phone, I said, so what's the limitation? How long can I be gone for? Can I come home for a week and be gone for 2 more weeks? Is that okay? She wouldn't answer the question. And I said, what about all these other parents? Are you going after them? And like with teachers telling us that you're sending principals and social workers door to door because kids are not attending the Zoom lessons, they're not doing anything. And you're worried about me? You're worried, like my kids are on every day, all their work's turned in. What's the issue?
So where is this school district where they're giving you a hard time?
It's in central New York in Cuba County.
So, and right now you're in Missouri.
Right.
So, do you think there are other families who didn't have the snafu of a piece of mail go to the school that are also outside of the state but doing the same thing?
I actually had parents from all over the country reach out to me after seeing it in the New York Post and the Syracuse site. You know, I have a podcast, so people watch that and they've kind of followed where I've kind of talked about what's been going on this whole time. So people are doing it. So that's kind of the question, right? Like, are you going after every single parent that's traveling with their kids? And what is the limit of time you can be gone for if you're putting a limit of time on it? I, told the woman on the phone, I just renewed my driver's license to my home. I'm not moving. I have no intentions of moving. So
yeah,
I said,
how is it? I don't even understand how it's their business. I mean, if you get into an internet connection and the kid is being taught like he's supposed to, and he's, like you said, a lot of kids are blanking off their cameras. They're not doing the work. These kids are doing it every day, and they want to not teach them anymore.
Right. And I mean, and this is the thing, and the district's had enough of their own issues where, like, for an example, my one son that's in 2nd grade, his math lessons are on video from YouTube that the teacher has to send. For a week and a half, over half the kids in her class haven't even been able to access those videos because of a bug in the system, because this teacher has students from different school buildings from all over the school district, and only one building's working. So why aren't they focusing on those issues, making sure that the kids are getting the education they need? Or the other teacher for my son that has the IEP and that's in a 15-to-1 setting, that poor woman has to do remote learning and the hybrid kids, so she's had to change her whole schedule for when she doesn't have kids in her classroom. So he went from having meetings 5 days a week to 2 days a week for half an hour. What is that? And you're worried about me being in another state. I'm not moving.
It's crazy. It's absolutely bizarre that they'll go to these lengths to get a kid not to learn. So what's the deadline on this? You think this week they're gonna give you an answer, or?
Now, in the email that I got last night, which wasn't really clear, it doesn't state if I need to come back still or what's going to happen. And, she wants to have a phone call. Lady, I'm not getting on the phone with you. You want to talk to me, you put it in writing, because we're done with this. That they're going to review it. It could take up to 2 weeks, and then I can appeal. So I'm not really sure what to do. My lawyer's going to have to contact them today and find out what the scoop is, because I don't know.
Maybe we get some hackers and we hack into their school Zoom room and they just show up every day anyway.
Yeah, right? Could you imagine?
That would be pretty good.
Thing on news. Yeah.
All right, well, buddy, sorry for the trouble this crap is putting on you. It's nutty what these people are doing, especially in New York. But let's keep us posted. Anything we can do to help spread the word, we're here for you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Jeffrey Emmette, father of 3 boys who are being threatened to be thrown out of school. They won't be allowed to participate in remote learning because their father took them to his aunt's house in Missouri because he wanted to get out of New York City or New York State during the COVID. And by the way, Andrew Cuomo was killing tens of thousands of people in New York State, so people got scared. And he went down to Missouri. Now they're telling him that if his kids aren't in state, they can't access the remote Zoom. And it's just another reason why you got to vote for Donald Trump, because this crap's going to be over like November 5, lickety-split, trust me. Do some news of the day. Suck down a cold one if you got a chance. Take a quick commercial break, come back after this, and a little later on, Bob Barr. We're going to get into all this Hunter Biden stuff that's just a massive growing pile of explosives ready to blow up in Joe Biden's face like Wile E. Coyote. Quick break, back with news of the day right after this.